Hey guys, what's up? It's Chris and Jake here with Undiscovered Realm, and we are back from New York Comic Con, exhausted, and we are going to do a recap of the show, what the hot pops were, current pricing versus what some stuff was going for on the show floor, and then lastly, what we think the hot pops are going to be going forward. So like, not to invest necessarily, but the stuff you should probably pick up now versus waiting a little bit because it's probably just going to tick up. There's still a few strong ones in there. Like we said, Marty McFly was another one that everybody was asking for. Really cool in the spacesuit from the first movie. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. That's maybe one that I wanted the most out of everything. What else was pretty strong?
Butts down.
It's a really, really, really nice pop. I don't know if the camera's picking it up really well, but it looks like a diamond or a crystal.
Yeah.
It has all the different colors reflecting in it. Definitely one of the nicest pops I've ever seen them make, and much different than your average. But we kind of had a chance to get a lot of those, and we're kind of light on them, let's say, because I didn't think it was going to be that big. And once I saw it in person, I was like, oh, this is really cool, and everybody was looking for it. So I think that definitely going forward is going to be one to watch out for because the people asking for it and the hype on it was very strong, especially given how unique it is compared to most pops. I think that the Simpsons were definitely popular. They were shared with Hot Topic and FYE, so they're out there. But I think they're going to dry up real quick. Like we were at the mall today, and Hot Topic didn't have any Groundskeeper Willies left already, and they still had some of the My Hero, which makes no sense. So Simpsons is huge. Treehouse of Horrors is amazing. People who are going to want to complete the sets, the whole new wave just came out. So now you're going to need Kang and Kodos. So that's from San Diego. That's going to drive those up like crazy now, because everyone's going to have to backtrack, and those aren't easy to get to begin with. And then you have Vampire Burns and Freddy Krueger, Groundskeeper Willie, and I think those are going to be solid. For ad icons, we had just the two Pez pops. They've been doing those. They had the other one from San Diego. Definitely, they've been pumping out the ad icons, so the hype has died down a little bit, but they're always strong. People who want to finish their sets are going to definitely need them. So I think they're going like $30-$40 right now, which is pretty good for that seems to be where all the B level ad icons settle around currently. What else do we have? HR Pufnstuf. That's one of those ones like all the Hanna-Barbera stuff. They never seem to skyrocket, but they maintain like a nice $30-$40 price. There's a lot of the older crowd that, like my parents' age, born in the 50s, 60s, that grew up on that. They love it. So they're going to look for that. But there's a lot less of that age group collecting pops. So that's what kind of keeps the demand somewhat in check. That's why you always see them as exclusives, because if they did them as a mass release, the demand is just not strong enough for them. What else?
We got Slim over here.
Oh, Slim. Yeah.
Yeah, in our other video, I kind of described some of the ones that we thought were going to be good before the con. Definitely go check that out. But one of the ones was actually Slim, and I don't want to say it was super hot, but it definitely was moving throughout the show.
Yeah, it was one of the better ones. I mean, that's horror. It's just like anime. It always does great. And even if you see them everywhere right now, a couple months from now, once they dry up, everybody's still looking for them, and that'll be a pop that'll be selling for years.
Exactly.
I could easily see that being $100 pop in this time next year without a problem. What else we got here? Oh, Officer Freddie. Obviously, Freddie Funko is always huge. We went over the whole New York thing. That's another one. New York cop, classic. He's got the cup of coffee. He's got the iconic outfit on. But that was a strong piece, holding steady at 100 all weekend. Everybody was looking for it. So I think, Freddie Funkos in general, especially con exclusive ones, you pretty much maintain, but that should be a strong one forever. Susie, she's definitely a little cheaper because she was shared with GameStop. They're out there still. But she's starting to do conventions too, and that's something a lot of people don't factor into pricing is people start doing signings and stuff like that, especially on exclusive pops. They really dry up quick because everybody wants to get them signed. They come off the market. They don't get resold as much because they're signed. And that kind of will drive the price up. So I think it's going to stay cheap for a little while, but as she stays doing shows, it's going to definitely, dry up, and you're not going to see them as much. And she's definitely going to be appearing with Dustin all the time, so that's going to keep it pretty strong too. And then, she may never show up on the show again, but if she becomes a bigger character in season 4, forget it. That could just, shoot it right through the roof. You could have another Steve situation or something like that, or Robin. What else we got? Harry Potter, Flitch, and Miss Norris. We also have the 6-inch Madame Maxime. Harry Potter, always good. Once again, just like anime, it will tick up slowly over time. There's always a demand for that. It's one of the strongest lines. Look, there's already 102 pops in the line. It's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, at this point, and it's still tons of stuff to release. So it's always gonna go up, up, up. The 6 inches always have a slower demand than like the regular pops, just because people don't buy them as much. They have a different box size. They kind of look weird on your shelf. They take up more space, so they're never as popular. So that this one will probably have a lower ceiling than he does. What are you seeing?
Here. I
Oh,
see
yeah.
This is definitely the coolest thing.
This is nice.
Yeah.
It's huge. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but the thing is gigantic. Definitely amazing. Coming out of San Diego, the Carl and Ellie 2-pack is the strongest pop. It's already pushing $100 and has no end in sight. You can't find them anywhere. You go to a show, even the size of New York, and nobody has it for sale. That pop, it definitely has a huge ceiling. All the old ones are starting to tick up like crazy. I think Russell's up to $70 or $80 now. He was a common a year ago. You could get him anywhere. This is definitely going to also push Carl and Ellie up. And once this dries up, because of the size, it's a $50 retail. So I think that's going to keep some people out initially and keep the price from jumping too much. But going forward, this could easily be a $200+ item. I don't see any end for that. Also comes with Kevin the bird, which is a popular character. So for $50, you're actually getting a pretty good deal. They would be $15 just for the normal size ones, and the thing's massive. That's going to look really nice on your shelf with the other up pops around it.
It's a really cool detail right here. Is actually the bottle cap right next to the
Oh, that's really cool. I like that on the Carl and Ellie too. I finally tracked one down for myself. I had to pay like $80 or $90 for it because nobody ever brought one in. And I like that they had the little bottle cap on there. I thought that was really cool. So it's nice they're tying it together. Dr. Frank Poole, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Classic movie, one of the greatest of all time. But once again, skews more towards an older crowd who don't collect pops as much. So the price is a little low right now. I think he's hovering around $30. But I don't think, as an official sticker, the shared one's probably even less. But, as time goes on, that could definitely tick up. Game of Thrones kind of crashed in value across the board on the collection ever since the show ended. For one, the show's done. The hype has died down a little bit. The ending wasn't really popular with a lot of people, so it kind of killed the hype as well. And anytime that happens, it brings all the stuff down. Like Headless Ned was going for $2,500 pre, the final season. And now, he's at $1,200. So he literally halved in price, and that's one of the biggest grails in the Funko collecting game. Masande, if this came out a year ago, this pop would have been one of the most desired of the show. People would have been begging for it. It's still holding pretty strong. It was shared with Barnes & Noble, so that's keeping the shared one down. But the stickered one's still holding pretty solid at $50, so that's pretty good. So it'll probably have a good shelf life, but I think that, the collectors are just not there. A lot of people got out of Game of Thrones. So the amount of people looking for it are probably half of what it would have been a year ago. What else do we have here? We got Doctor Who. Always strong, but the weird side characters don't sell as well as the Doctors. Yeah. It's kind of died down a lot over the last 2 years. We used to constantly have people looking for Doctor Who, and now they kind of made all the big characters, so we're, kind of starting to get onto all the side.
I also feel like when people are looking for Doctor Who, they're looking for a specific character. Like they want one of the specific doctors. So exactly. It's very hard to get one that
unless
everybody wants.
You get a completist that just wants every character. They're not there as much. And most of the Doctor Who characters now are con exclusives, so it kind of starts off at a higher price point. And they seem to be more casual collectors who are looking for that, and they don't want to spend that extra money. They want the $10, $12 pops, and that's really
kind of like the Brita here with the community. Very casual group of fans.
Yeah, we'll get into those in a minute, but they're kind of on the low end. But speaking of TV shows, one of the ones that we don't have here that was super in demand was the Dwight pop, and it's Dwight holding a mini Dwight, which Jake is a huge Office fan if you've watched any of our other videos. So let him, take that one.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's pretty much just Dwight holding the bobblehead of himself, as I would like to think it is. It's a pretty cool pop. Obviously, the only other regular Dwight that they've made was the common, and even that one sold out really quick at the store and even at the shows. So I think that one's going to be very strong. It was already, what was it? It was over $100.
Yeah, it was going for $100 plus, no problem. And I think I looked up all the prices right before we did this video for the official stickered stuff. This is not the shared. This is not anything. They're always a lot more. But Dwight was going for $60, $70 right now. Yeah. So he's holding pretty strong. And the shared one was still at $40. And a weird thing with Dwight was he shared with Amazon, but it got announced very last second, as the show was starting. And Amazon, I don't think they were supposed to get it initially. and Amazon pre-ordered Iron Man and Benson from Toy Story like a couple weeks ago, and Dwight was nowhere to be found. So they put them up. It sold out in 2 seconds. They also had a very low limit. I think it was like 2 or 3, if you could even get it. And it went quick. So I think even the shared one of that, with the mass amount of people trying to complete their Office collections, is going to be very, very, very strong. We'll get into that in a minute. And then the last few things, Dune. Much like 2001: A Space Odyssey, it has its fans, but like the demand is probably just not there. Probably caps out at like a $40 pop, if that, as time goes on. The artists, once again, all New York artists. I thought they were a really cool idea. Herring and him are popular, but they're gonna probably have more of a low ceiling than Edgar Allan Poe. Everybody was asking for Edgar Allan Poe. Obviously, huge, in pop culture, not just for collectors of the artists or icons. And they actually put him in the icons instead. Well, he's a writer, but they didn't put him in the artist series.
I mean, even in school, though, you hear in school
yeah.
You're forced to read.
Edgar Allan Poe, he's one of the best. Yeah. I love Edgar Allan Poe.
Greatest.
Everybody does, especially this time of year for the fall for Comic-Con is perfect. And actually, one thing about the artist series here is this is 1 and 2. It's the beginning of that. So if they really do start pumping them out, that's going to drive these guys up through the roof too. Because anybody that wants to complete their sets, it's going to be much like the directors. They started at a decent price, and now some of the old ones are astronomically expensive. Bluntman and Chronic, another big favorite of mine, huge Jay and Silent Bob fan. A couple things with this. It started strong. The official stickered one's staying solid at 70 to 75 plus, and it's only going to go up from here. Jay and Silent Bob, the original pops, are both very expensive. You don't see them ever anymore. This is the first time they've made another Jay, and they've made a bunch of Kevin Smiths, but never another Silent Bob. Also, the new movie comes out next week, and these are actually heavily featured in the movie. They go to a Comic-Con, and there's giant inflatable versions of both of these pops outside the Comic-Con as like the official part of, Bluntman and Chronic at the Comic-Con. So that's going to drive this up. People are going to be looking for it forever. They both do signings. People are going to want to get them signed. Everything possible that could affect this going up, it has going for it. So it's going to be strong. Get it now. It was shared with FYE. You might be able to find some if you still have an FYE around you. And then we have Debbie Harry, another musician, kind of a niche. Another big New York one, Blondie. If you don't know who she is, she's the lead singer of Blondie. One of the biggest like pop, not pop bands, but pop and punk and new wave, and huge part of the New York scene in the 80s and 70s. Daria from MTV. If you have Beavis and Butthead, you gotta get Daria to complete your set. If you like the show Daria, you gotta get Daria to complete your set. Really cool to see that Funko kind of digging back a little bit and going through some of the older stuff. I was very happy to see that, and I think a lot of people long term are going to be looking for that. If you've tried finding Beavis and Butthead any time in the last 3 years, you know how impossible that is. So I'm trying to think. Oh, Cabbage Man. I'm not a big anime guy, but apparently like he's like a running joke through the entire series of Avatar. So I thought it's kind of funny. What's kind of interesting is it comes with a cabbage cart, which is big. It's the size of a pop, but they count this as a 2-pack. So it's a $30 retail. So you're paying for the cabbage as its own pop. But it's pretty cool. All the Avatar stuff has been really strong. So if this starts drying up, it can definitely be a contender. But again, much like with the other big pops, the initial price point kind of, puts more of a ceiling on how high it can go. But anime, you never know. Stuff surprises you. One of the anime pops that was shared with Hot Topic last year, it sat on the shelf. You could find it in every Hot Topic for like a month straight, and now it's over $100 because it dried up, and that's it. Did we miss anything? Just a couple lower end ones. Oh yeah, we'll go over this guy. Yeah. This guy is unique. This was by Sucklord. He's never really done pops before. He's really big in the vinyl toy collectors and fan base. He basically just customizes stuff, and he's really known for his pink stormtroopers and just really ridiculous things. Like he tries to push the envelope and piss people off. That's his thing. So he did a run of pops. He was selling them at one of the booths at the show. Very low run. He did a couple different colors. We were able to get one. A good friend of mine actually gave me this one as a gift, so that's my personal one. And it's nice. I love it. I'm a big vinyl toy collector. Way before I got into pops, so I'm very familiar with his stuff. I always liked it. I never was a big collector of his stuff, but I'm really happy to have this. He did a really, really, really nice job on it. All the details are nice. I love the pink, the splatter, the silver. He's got a little lipstick mark on his helmet. He's got a little S diamond chain for Sucklord. And then, he even bootlegged the back of the box, and he kind of put like all the other pops as different characters. Really, really cool. Signed on the bottom, and I don't know what the run on these was, but it was very few. I think there was 36 total, but that's not all this colorway. There was a bunch of different colorways. Some I think there might have only been one or two of. So yeah, definitely a cool, unique piece. And then lastly, we kind of have the bottom of the rung type stuff that I don't think is ever really going to go up at all. Dark Voyager from Fortnite. Fortnite's immensely popular, but 90% of the fan base are little kids.
Yeah.
And their parents are buying the stuff for them. So they're never going to want to pay even $20, $25 for the exclusive version when they can just get one for $10 or less. That happens with anything that's very like kid based. The exclusives are never strong. Five Nights at Freddy's is another good example. Brita, Community. That's basically this year's version of the New Girl Pop from last year. They released the whole line except for one character. They make one exclusive. Nobody really cares. It just rots. Like, I think you can get the New Girl Pop for like $8, and it was $15 at New York Comic Con last year. So I expect this one to follow the same trajectory. Community's probably more of like a cult fan base than New Girl was, but nonetheless, I don't know how many people are going to care.
The only strong sellers from that line really were Abed and then.
And not even.
Yeah.
Like, I think we sold one of each
Professor
over the
J.
course of 4 days at a show where like you could sell hundreds of something hot, So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's just it's past its prime. They should have made these a couple years ago. Yeah. And then lastly, Donald Duck. It's a Disney pop. It's kind of a niche one. It's a fireman Donald. People are gonna care because it's Disney, it's Donald, but I think it's gonna be a slow burn. It'll eventually rise a bit, but it's also shared with Barnes & Noble, so I'm sure you're gonna see them at every Barnes & Noble in piles. And then I think all that's left are the Wacky Races. I love Wacky Races. Awesome. These could go either way. The Hanna-Barbera stuff, like we were talking about before, typically kind of stay low, but some of it does surprise you and shoot up. And a lot of the ones that did were the Wacky Races. Dick Dastardly, stuff like that. And if you're trying to complete your set, you're going to need these guys. And all the other ones, for the most part, were commons, and they shot up. So, there's definitely room for these guys to grow. But right now, they're pretty low. I think you can get even the official stickered ones at like $25, $30, which is a steal. Is there anything else that we missed?
I mean, I think that's pretty much it. We talked about the squirrel, right?
Yeah. So that's most of them.
Yeah.
I just want to go through real quick and pick the few. I mean, we kind of touched on it as we were doing the video, but a couple that I really think are at their lowest they're going to be right now. And again, we're not telling you what to do with your money. If the thing crashes next week, don't come blaming us. But based on what we know and, kind of we've seen this happen with other pops, there's a few that I think are definitely worth picking up now. Especially if you don't care about the sticker, go ahead and get the shared version because it's going to be probably 25 to 50% less, sometimes more. But if you're trying to get the stickers, that's great too. They're definitely a lot rarer. But Marty McFly, very strong. The common one is pretty readily available, but all the other exclusives have always done great. Marty on hoverboard is, getting close to $100, $80 to $100 now. There's no reason this one won't follow suit. That one was much more readily available. It was on fun.com for months. Shared with Pop Culture. It's out there. The Marvel guys, it's all part of the first appearance wave. So these probably will start ticking up as people want to complete that wave. But they're not necessarily the versions the mass public is familiar with. So that's going to kind of make it a little more stagnant. My Hero, I think these are gold. Either one of these could be quadruple the price anytime. We have this conversation next year. There's no way in hell that these aren't way up there. Especially with the new season coming out, the hype is about to go into overdrive. Piccolo, it's Dragon Ball. It's popular. Not one of the best sellers usually, but it'll still stay strong. Vegeta, obviously, is going to shoot up. It's Vegeta. Every Vegeta from Dragon Ball is popular. It doesn't matter how many they make. There's people, even if they don't collect the other Dragon Balls, they collect every Vegeta. So if anything's going to go up, it's that. The Pigeons, they'll probably stay steady. I think Edgar Allan Poe, like we talked about, definitely has a potential to shoot up. All Might, definitely with the sticker. The regular one's probably going to shoot up too, but again, $30 to get in, it's a little high to start. I think that's it for here. Boltman and Chronic, probably very strong. What do we got over here?
Got these two over here. I mean,
the Batman's already pushing $400. The Green Chrome has been out for a year, more than a year at this point. It's also a 1,500 piece run, I think. That was Emerald City exclusive. It's at 450 to 500. It's probably going to start to tick up closer to the 500 now that this one's out. That being said, the green chrome was shared with Funko Shop. So people definitely had, even though it sold out instantly, they had a chance. They put a few more out there for people that weren't at the show. This guy was not. You were at New York Comic Con, you won the lottery, you had to be one of the first in line, or you didn't get it. So who knows with him? It's also pink. It's really nice. It's probably the best looking one. And who knows? It could stay at where it's at. It could, as the hype dies down a little bit, go to 300 and then slowly climb back up. It could shoot to 500 tomorrow. But it's definitely going to be a strong pop going
I think
forward.
that's the other thing too, though. Like a lot of the New York hype will die down, and then maybe some of these prices will dip a little bit. But we're also all like talking long term.
Yeah, over the next 6 months to a year. Matterhorn definitely going to shoot up. Orange Bird was really cheap. It was a numbered piece. I think it was limited to 1,000 pieces. The flocked version at New York 2 years ago, give or take 3. I don't even know anymore. Sat around $40-$50 for a while. Then it went towards 80. Now it's a few hundred. That's a much more niche item than this is. It's Mickey Mouse. People are going to want it. So if you can get your hands on it, I mean, it's already expensive, so you're not going to get a low end start to get it. But Baseball Fury is my probably number one pick for something that will shoot up the most. Very fast sellout every day at New York. It was a Toy Tokyo. It was shared. You had to buy the bundle for whatever it was, $70 or something like that. Also sold out very fast, but you had to buy all 3 of the HR Pufnstuffs with it. So a lot of people don't care about these. So they either didn't buy the bundle or, they're not going to be able to recoup a lot of money off of that. So it's going to fall into that. I think it's a solid $100+ pop at a minimum. I think the demand's always going to be there. They're also making other Warriors pops later this year. The writing's on the wall. Everybody's going to need that. And they'll probably start making some of the other bad guys in the movie. And this is the most iconic. Everybody's going to want it. Simpsons, like we said, going to be strong. People are also going to need to fill out their collections. If you don't have Kang and Kodos right now, go get it. That's going to shoot up first, and then these guys are going to follow suit. Slim, like we said, horror is always strong. Definitely don't want to sleep on that one. People are going to want it. Maybe they'll make more Killer Clowns. That'll also help it go up. Maybe they don't make any more. That'll also make it go up. The upside's there. There's no downside. I think that's mostly... the Vader, definitely going to dip in price once the Target one comes out because it's probably going to be mass-produced. The sticker will probably stay strong, though. Star Wars official stickered stuff, the fan base is, very, 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 very devout. They're going to want that stuff. It holds. What was last year? Captain Rex?
Yeah, Captain Rex.
That thing was on every Hot Topic shelf, and even the shared one's like $60 now. Never mind the stickered one. It doesn't matter. It's going to go up. But, if you can wait a month, there's no reason. It's going for $100+ right now with the New York sticker. You're going to be able to get it for like $40, even on the secondary market once the shared one comes out. So, if you don't care about that, just wait. I think that's most of the must-get ones. I don't know.
It. Yeah, I mean...
Anything else you want to add?
We went over everything, I think. Biggest thing that I would just say, kind of to wrap up the video, is if you have any more ideas of what you want to see from us,
leave a comment.
Yeah, we have the means to show you a lot of stuff and really peel back the curtain. So if you want to see anything, make sure to comment down below.
Yeah, and obviously subscribe. Click the little bell if you want to get notified. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Undiscovered Realm, facebook.com/Undiscovered Realm. Most of these items are for sale. Some of these are from personal collections, so they're not going to be available, but we get everything. So if you're looking for pops, especially high-end stuff, we specialize in that. So you want to definitely follow us because we post pictures of everything we get. Stuff sells out like that. So you want to make sure you're subscribed, and you can shoot us a message if you see something you like. And that's really it. One other thing, going back to Iron Man. If you don't have the Iron Man and you want the Iron Man, buy it. Whether it's the shared at $45, that thing is going to go through the roof. The demand is unparalleled. And all the other Iron Man or, any of the exclusive ones are crazy. Especially, the old Tony Stark is, I don't even know now, $600-$700. Get that pop. It's amazing looking. It's only going to, sky's the limit. So, I guess that's it. Thanks for checking it out. And huge, huge, huge thank you if you stopped by the booth at New York Comic Con. I mean, we dealt with thousands and thousands of people. So we don't take that lightly. We're very, very appreciative. We couldn't do all this without you guys, coming and buying stuff and being supportive fans and customers. So we'll see you soon. We'll probably have some more content. We're going to Baltimore next week. and we'll see what we can cook up for you.